Hello and welcome to the Miraculous Lightworkers channel, your go-to place for all things about Lightworkers and enlightenment. Today I'm going to be reading the October 28th entry from the Daily Meditations for Practicing the Course by Karen Casey. Today's entry is about the real world. And the opening statement says, "There's only good in the real world." If a basic attribute of the real world is that only good happens there, most would agree we don't live there on a daily basis. That's not an easy idea to embrace. Where are we then? What is this world? And even more important questions are where, if not here, is the real world and how do we get there? When we're told the real world is simply in our minds, many are still confused. To whom do we go for understanding? If we're fortunate enough to be in a course study group, we can seek guidance there. It's not coincidental that we've been brought together to share this experience. Among any circle sit teachers as well as students. We're learning that when we invite the Holy Spirit to interpret our experiences, we'll see only good. And when we let the Holy Spirit determine our actions, we will do only good. Any other interpretation, any other response evolves from the ego's worldview. Let's stay in the real world and know peace. Closing affirmation. I am free to live in the real world or the ego's world today. My choice defines everything. So, let's just break that open, shall we? The idea of saying something like there's only good in the real world sounds very utopian. And for most of us who live in what we've always deemed to be the real world, it's certainly not utopian. So it's about seeing what is real. The problem is we have a lot of falsity in our minds, a lot of things that need to be purified because we are a part, we have this sort of prescription of the world that is, we encounter a lot of things that are real negative, basically. And that's when we're out doing the ego's bidding usually. And we're not focused on seeing anything from the Holy Spirit's point of view. This spirit that lives inside of you and wants so much to guide every action that you take. But we're in this world that seems like we need to protect ourselves. So we're using the ego to protect us, essentially, because if we don't, we're so certain that we're going to be taken advantage of, is pretty much what it comes down to. There's a trust that develops the more that you lean into the certainty of the Holy Spirit and this place within you that knows only beauty and only wants to project and create beauty. It's a really interesting experience. I will say that when you start to digest the Course and accept that we are responsible for creating much of the negativity we see in the world, but that we have a choice and it's incumbent upon us to make a good choice if we want to see peace in the world. And we can. It says, the closing affirmation, I am free to live in the real world or the ego's world today. My choice defines everything. It really comes down to choice. Normally we are trying to preserve our egos, and this isn't in the sense that most people would assume of what an ego is. I think that's a really important thing to try to define, because normally we hear the ego and we think of that as being a really negative thing. It serves a purpose, and it doesn't make us bad because we have one. Everybody has one to function in this physical world where everything seems to be based on serving the function of the ego. It's only when we start to realize that our choice for the Holy Spirit is a choice for God, and when we do that, our spirit is in wholeness. And so we start to realize why would I make that choice and that distinction differently? And it's because your decision makes all the difference in your world and many other people's world. And you literally have the capability of creating miracles from this place of spirit, if you so choose. And you want to choose that, I assure you, because following the lead of the ego will only take you so far before it just results in another heartbreak, another tragedy, another sorrow, because that's how the ego rolls. So I like this invitation to make those choices and identify the places where we can make those choices, because normally we don't even really think of ourselves as having a choice. We're just doing life, right? But we do have a choice. And when we encounter an opportunity, and you're going to encounter many in a day, even if you stay home most of the day, we're all social creatures at some level, and you will find yourself with an opportunity to make the choice for peace and for wholeness and joy and love. So I really encourage everyone to try and identify those moments when you can have that holy instant experience and choose differently than maybe you might have in the past. I thank you for joining me. If you found this video interesting, like, share, subscribe, comment below. I really do. Thank you for interest in the Course in Miracles. So there is links in the description box to where you can purchase a copy of the daily meditations, and also acim.org if you want to learn more about A Course in Miracles. Appreciate your time, and join us next time as we all come together to uplift, enlighten, and ascend. Bye now.